Well, the government has basically came out with what is going to be their apology. It's a massive U-turn on what we already knew was happening. Illegal migration has been accepted in the UK. In Poland, it absolutely has not. And Poland's crime rates, they're pretty chill. But the UK, Germany and all that has accepted this mass illegal migration, have now had to come out and accept that with the increase of illegal migration, there is an increase in crime, particularly towards women and children. Now, a lot of natives have already stated that this is happening, but they have been ignored. There are three parts to what the government done. Number one, they ignored it. No, it's not. That's not happening. That is insane. These people are here for better lives, even though it's majority military-aged men, right? When that didn't work and people clearly could see with their eyes and hear with their ears, they got their Antifa dogs on them. Anti-fascist. Ironic. They then come out and go, if you're against all this legal migration, because illegal migration doesn't exist, you're a racist, you're a bigot, you're a Nazi. Also, free Palestine. You know, the people attacking Jews. Just like certain people did in World War II, but we'll ignore that. And now, none of that has worked. They have to do a U-turn. Well, it's not a U-turn. So let's read the pamphlet. Let's read it. I'm just going to read it because I want to read it. I want to hear what the fuck they have to say. Now, bearing in mind, there are people that have been here for generations, still can't speak a word of English because they choose not to. So just bear that in mind when you think about military-aged men that have been brought up in a culture that's so backwards to our culture that our culture needs to bring out a pamphlet like this. If they choose not to, they will not do what you ask, okay? There we go. Living in the UK. You're in the United Kingdom because you are seeking asylum. We understand that coming to a new country can be difficult. Oh my God. They've actually... I'll show you. Difficult. This is the government. Difficult. Here, Karen, can you make sure that the thing that we're bringing out that highlights, yeah, we're aware that SA has increased because we've kind of full-on rattled it in illegal immigration and just accepted it, and can you make sure that this is really done to a high standard? Difficult. Yeah, fine. Who needs a second read over? And that laws and customs here may be different from your home country. So why are we accepting people into our culture that don't understand our culture? Why are we not teaching this before they come in? Why? Why is it more important to have them here and then deal with them here rather than have something set up where if they are truly going through war-torn countries, surely there could be a safe area. They go in, they get taught our customs, they maybe have to go through some serious checks so that when they actually get to the island, which the checks and all that should still continue, but they're not as like ravenous as what they are. Because if you spend 19, 20 to 25 to 30 years in a culture that's like, yeah, women can be oppressed, if you see her ankles, fucking do what you want. You don't have self-control, you're a man, she's a woman, you're not equal. If you are in that facility for like 20, 25 years, it's going to be very hard to unlearn that, right? So I'm just going to get back to reading it. In the UK, there are laws that protect everyone's safety, dignity and rights. It is important that you understand them because not following UK law can lead to serious consequences. You could get into... Anytime I see like anything like this, I always picture like a fucking grey-haired Karen who's in like her mid-30s, but she's got chronic alcoholism because she hates herself, but she needs to pick up that government paycheck. She's got bright orange glasses because she doesn't have a personality, and she's got one of the fucking Palestinian fucking things because, again, she's so brainwashed. But she talks to people like this. You could get in serious trouble with the police. Like, I hate everything now. Lose your asylum support or it could affect your asylum claim. This booklet, which you can choose not to accept, will help you understand what is expected of you when living in the UK. These rules and expectations are not just for people seeking asylum; they apply to everyone living here. If you have questions about anything in this booklet, speak to another. If you're someone you know needs help because of abuse, violence, or crime, there is a list of organisations that can help support you at the end of this booklet. By the way, any migrants, anybody out there, so if you see someone filming in public, leave them alone. That's their right to do that. They're in public. You're in public too, and if you choose to go up to someone with a camera, you have chosen to do that at your own will. If you start getting violent, you're the problem. If you're doing something that you don't want to be filmed, you probably shouldn't be doing it. And it's just a double slap in the face if you've came here illegally and then start doing illegal shit and then get really bitchy about natives and get violent when they're just highlighting the shit that you're doing illegally. Like, double standards. But that also does go to people that are here and they are native here, whether you're a junkie or something else or an ed. See, if you're doing something in public that you probably shouldn't be doing and someone's just recording in public, yeah, that's your fault. Don't be doing shit that's illegal and then get bitchy and moany and start being violent if you've been caught. Like, accountability and shame need to be brought back. Because not all people are equal, not all cultures are equal. Just because we're all human men doesn't mean people are deserving of love and respect. They don't. Actions should have consequences and people should earn respect. Right, sorry, back to it. In the UK, men and women have equal rights. This is an important part of UK culture and is protected by law. Women, specifically women. Why would we be putting a thing about expectations and we're really pinpointing what women's rights are? Why would we be doing that, eh? Women can, again, the natives literally went, women and girls aren't safe. Now they've brought out a pamphlet and there's literally specific expectation and standards directed towards actions towards women. Women can work and earn their own money, study and go to school or university, travel freely, choose who they marry or choose not to marry, make their own decisions about their lives. Women do not need permission from a husband, father, brother or any other man to do any of these things. Men and women are treated equally by law, by employers, by schools and by services like hospitals and the police. It is against the law to treat someone unfairly because of their gender. And yet we also have a thing called DEI which completely contradicts that whole thing. That's a video for another time. What is expected of you? Everyone in the UK is expected to treat men and women equally, even if you're a family member like a husband, father or brother. Isn't it weird that the men over the women, it's almost like not all cultures are equal. You must never stop a woman from working or studying, control what a woman wears or where she goes, stop a woman from seeing friends or family, make decisions for women without her agreement. And one of the things that I hear about, like all the people, all the DEI shows and all your kind of politically paid people on BBC and all that, they're like, yes, but natives do that too, but British people do that too. Yeah, we're right. That's true, that does happen. There are British people that do that type of shit, 100%. So that's why people like myself are like, well, why don't we put a stop to adding more people into an already broken system? Stop illegal migration, put a pause to that. Let's actually, solve the problems that need to be solved instead of freeing prisons because we've got too many people coming in. Let's solve the problems at our own back garden first. I'm aware of that. One doesn't override the other. You wouldn't put fuel out. You wouldn't put fire out with more petrol, would you? But they just seem to keep piling it on, but a leaflet will solve the problem. Back to it. What could happen if you do not follow these rules? Treating someone unfairly because of their gender can have serious consequences. If your behaviour is controlling or threatening, it may also be treated as domestic abuse, which is a crime. You could get into trouble with the police, lose your accommodation and support, and it can affect your asylum claim. There is more information about domestic abuse in the next section, domestic abuse. I think they would have been quicker just putting out just a leaflet going, see all that stuff that you learned in the culture from the country that you're wanting to escape from, see all of that, delete, and then restart with our values because we're the West who you want to live with. So be like us. Not all cultures are equal, clearly. Right, domestic abuse is when someone hurts, threatens or controls their partners or family members. It can happen to anyone regardless of their gender, age or background. Domestic abuse includes physical violence, hitting, pushing, kicking or any physical harm. Threats, saying you will hurt someone or making them afraid. Controlling behaviour, controlling someone's money, where they go or who they can see. Emotional abuse, criticism, humiliation or making someone feel worthless. Taking away documents, keeping someone's passport or identity documents from them. What is expected of you? You're expected to treat your partner or family with respect. Let them make their own choices, never physically or verbally abuse or control them. That goes to everyone. You shouldn't do that to anyone, not just your family. Domestic abuse is a serious crime in the UK. If you do any of these behaviours in the list, you could be arrested and go to prison, lose your accommodation. What accommodation would that be? And support, and it could affect your asylum claim. And bear in mind, the majority of these people are military-aged men. They're not here with families. I think most of us would be absolutely fine if it was majority women and children, because the chances are, right, if it was just women and children coming over, they would actually be fleeing the potential person that was actually forcing the oppression on them. And what you would probably end up seeing is the women and children would be more willing to integrate because they don't have that demand. I know women scream not all men, but in these cases, in these particular cultures, men are the ones with the power. But if we just had the women and children come over, we could potentially then give them a better lives and show them a better way of living that is not oppression and having to cover yourself because if you, the man in your culture saw an ankle and he couldn't control himself, that was your fault. We could actually teach them, no, it's not your fault, you can wear what the fuck you want. Right? And if you choose to go on and wear, your cultural or traditional wear, that's fine. However, in this culture, we would appreciate you not covering your face because that is a sign of respect to be able to see someone's face. Fine, go wear what you want. The idea of having the man there is the thing that I believe continues to oppress women even when they escape the country that they come from. And yeah, that is kind of me going into the it's all men thing, but in certain cultures, it is. Because they're told that it is from an early age and it's ingrained into their head. Right. If you're experiencing domestic abuse, you do not have to stay with someone who hurts or controls you. Help is available. That's a motorbike, that's fine. If you have like one of those exhausts in your car, tangent, that is a universal symbol of I have a 2.5-inch penis. So, yeah. You will be treated with dignity and respect. Reporting abuse will not negatively affect your asylum claim. Domestic abuse helpline, women's aid, live fear-free. Right, okay. Domestic abuse helpline, and an emergency always call 999. Have you already about behaviour? Right, cool. Sex and consent. Now, growing up in the UK where we had people that actually kind of cared, I mean, that's went right out the fucking window at this point. We learned about this in school. At the age where, the whole puberty thing was coming in, we learned about this. Why have these people not learned about it? Because not all cultures are equal. Consent means both people freely agree to sex and sexual contact. In the UK, the law is clear and strict. Both people must agree to sex or sexual contact of any kind. This means both people must say yes freely without threat or pressure. Someone can change their mind at any time, even if they said yes before. If someone is asleep, drunk, or unable to respond, they cannot consent. Consent is needed in every situation. This means even if you are married or in a relationship with someone, they must consent to sex every time. That goes for sexual contact and all that. I think with these people, you need to be specific and very fucking clear. If you have sex with someone without their consent, it is called rape. Rape is a serious crime in the UK. Apparently not, though, because rapists, particularly illegal immigration rapists, can get less of a prison sentence than someone that's tweeted a spicy tweet. You could go to prison, lose your support and accommodation, and it will affect your asylum claim. You could go to prison, lose your support and accommodation, and it will affect your asylum claim. But it doesn't specifically say you can get the fuck out of this country and you will never be allowed in this country again. It doesn't say that. What is expected of you? You are expected to always make sure the other person freely and clearly agrees to sex or sexual contact. Never use threat, force, or pressure to make someone have sex. Never try to have sex with someone who is asleep, drunk, or unable to consent clearly. Stop if they say no or change their mind. Again, we've learned this in school. And these are military-age men being taught this fucking lesson through a pamphlet. The legal age of consent. Legal age of consent in the UK is 16. Personally, I think it should be 18. This means that anyone under the age of 16 is considered a child and cannot legally agree to have sex. Sex with someone under the age of 16 is a serious crime in the UK. There are no exceptions to this rule. Even if they say yes, it is still illegal. You could go to prison, lose your support and accommodation. Again, it should just be you should get fucked out of this country, but if this happened to you, if you have experienced sexual abuse or assault, support is available. Again, it just goes back to them, their treatment, they're comfortable, them, not the natives. Oh, if you did this, you may have this happen, you may have that happen, but we are here to help you. That's why the crime rates go up. If you have experienced sexual, the number for rape crisis, whatever. Respect in public, they have none. In the UK, people have different beliefs, religions, cultures, relationships and ways of life. You must treat others with respect even if you disagree with their beliefs or how they live. We get into that. What is expected of you? When you're in public spaces alone, with or without friends, you must never make sexual comments to someone even if you think it's a compliment. Whistle or make kissing noises at someone. Follow someone or block their path, make rude or offensive gestures, verbally abuse someone because of their gender, religion or how they look. Honestly, I think it's just going to go up. I think they're going to take this pamphlet as a fucking how-to guide rather than a do not do this guide. Taking photographs and videos. In the UK, we respect people's privacy. This means you must not take photographs or videos of someone without their consent, except in public, because that's part of your freedom of speech and freedom of expression. But yeah, I mean, if you were literally filming a woman and just constantly filming her, and the woman goes, could you back off a wee bit? Most of us would go, yeah, do you know what? Yeah, that was a bit weird. I'm going to delete that. That's just courtesy. But from these pamphlets, as we've said, not all people are equal. It's a serious time to take sexual images of someone without their consent, share sexual images without their consent. That's different. That's different. Like, that's you taking someone, that's taking an exposed picture. That's not covered. You don't do that, of course not. But if you're out in public, you know what I mean? If you're out in the public, you're always covered with CCTV anyway, you're being filmed anyway. But if someone's making a vlog or something, then they're in public, that's their right. Your want to not be filmed doesn't go above their right to be able to do that. Getting help. If you have any questions about anything you read in this booklet or want information, speak to staff at your accommodation. Where is that accommodation? If you think you may be a victim of getting help, right, okay, cool. And then the rest is just places that they can go, because if they feel threatened after, they've probably done something to begin it. This is insane to me. Even the wording in this document, like the consequences are this: you could be arrested and go to prison. You could lose your accommodation and support. It could affect your crime. This isn't a deterrent. I think for someone that already has these types of beliefs and all that, and has these actions, it's not a guaranteed if you do these actions, you're fucked. This could, and for someone that's already choking at the bit, coming from a culture that clearly has these beliefs opposite to ours, hence why the government's put out this pamphlet, the idea of just a could, so there's a chance that it couldn't, they're going to go for it. I think this is actually going to make things worse. I really do. Which is fucking scary. But this is what the government genuinely think is the appropriate action. Which is disgusting. So the government are being quite disgusting towards natives, particularly women and girls. We've already seen that with the Pakistani grooming gangs. Again, everyone's argument is never to just directly discuss the argument taking place. We had Pakistani grooming gangs. Oh, but British people do it too. Yes. Just because one's happening, it doesn't mitigate the other. The other, however, is an imported problem that we can easily deal with by deporting. But people are like, but we can't do that. We fucking should, but we can't. And this, to me, the wording of this is all, it's disgusting, it's all muddied. If I was writing this, by the way, if I was ever in a position and someone was like, here, big man, can you do a pamphlet so that all these illegal immigrants know how to kind of, treat people decently in the West? Because back in where they came from, they don't actually have it. I'd be like, okay, well, why are they coming here? Why are we importing that? Oh, because of war. They came from France. There's no war in France. And where were they before France? Another country that wasn't at war. So why are they coming to the UK? Benefits. That's it. And who pays for the benefits? Taxpayers. Like me. Like you. But Antifa, all the wee lefties that are like, yeah, all of them are paid by the same government that take your taxes to fund this. So, which is sickening because, that wee lefty that screams, Nazis come off our streets, they'll hear about a girl's experience with an illegal migrant being raped and having her life completely changed. They'll hear about someone being stabbed by a migrant, and they'll read all that, they'll hear all that. Of course, it's in the ether, it's in public opinion, and then they'll completely ignore all of that, take their little check and go. I went to the protest in Glasgow. I hung back a wee bit. I've videoed it. You can watch it on my channel or TikTok, whatever. I saw the vans as I was walking towards it. I saw the wee organisers. They had the wee walkie-talkies, the wee boards and all that. They come in the same buses. They have the same placards. They wear the same things. Because it's not a natural thing. It's literally paid for by the government. I've seen it. I've seen it. They were genuinely suspicious of me. They would not take their eyes off me as I was walking. I didn't say anything. I just filmed. But a lot of people did stare at me. A couple of people were like, what are you doing here? I'm walking, mate. Why are you filming? Because I've got the right to. And most of these people were in balaclavas. But because they are on the government side, the government won't do anything. You've got the police literally going, you right-wing people that are against all of the things that we are forcing upon you, we will use all this technology to hunt you down. But the same isn't for the left because they're the ones that are paid for by the government. Why would they want to sacrifice their own? That is scary. And now we've got this, which is the government admitting, yes, all of these are going up and it's literally because of illegal migrants. Yes, there are still rapes and all that happen, but yes, the illegal migrants coming in have had a significant effect, so this is what we're going to do. It's disgusting. And even our own police, like they can't really do anything about it either. Jesus, right. Anyway, I don't know about you, but this is sickened me to death. And again, the arguments I'm hearing for like morning TV shows and all these fucking idiots online. Oh, but British people do it too. Yes, one doesn't override the other. But it's the fact that this particular one is being imported illegally, and we're paying for it. Fuck it. I'm done, man. See you later.